What is this that stands before me? It is a comic, Marvel Spotlight 24 to be precise. This is the final issue of this series to star Satan's Son, and the only Satan's Son story written by Christopher Claremont. Prior to this, Steve Gerber was writing, and he was great. And after this, Satan's Son, he gets his own title, which lasts 8 issues, and is only good for about half an issue. This one is the first on-panel meeting between Satan's Son and his sister Zatanna. So there is some historical relevance to the character here. If, like me, you liked Satan's Son before Warren Fallis made him into a Vertigo wannabe. We have a Satanist called Gloria. I am mostly a fan of this issue, but there is still some of Christopher Clairvoyant's writing ticks along the way, particularly his asides in the narration. And our introductory scene shows this woman summon a demon called Cathara, which takes over her body. It's all very run-of-the-mill stuff, but I'm okay with it. I should probably talk about Christopher Clairvoyant's history, or rather non-history, with Satan's Son. Christopher Clairvoyant never wrote Satan's Son before this, or even after it, excluding a guest appearance in a Fantastic Force annual from 1999. However, he did write a bunch of stories before this, starring a character called Zatanna, who he didn't create her. She was created by Roger Thomas, but it was Christopher Clairvoyant who developed her and established she was Satan's daughter. Christopher Clairvoyant wrote 3 stories with Zatanna, and then this, and then he writes a few Spider-Man team-ups with her where she dies. I have also heavily criticised Christopher Clairvoyant's attempts at writing romantic dialogue before, and here it works. Satan's Son is a bit aloof and not really good with a human concept like love. And so this is just him and his love interest, with the love interest acting a bit irrational because Satan's Son is such a closed book. Maybe beneath what is corny, cringe-inducing platitudes, there is a gothic simplicity to Christopher Clairvoyant's writing of romance, and that is why it works here and not in Excellent Men. The setup for these pre-Defenders Satan's Son stories was that he was an occult expert and an exorcister who investigated or resolved various demonic things. Anyway, here is when he meets his sister. Surprisingly, even after this issue, they have never done much in the way of Satan's son and Zatanna. This issue remains the most anyone has explored their sibling relationship. And now most of you are probably still coming to terms with the fact that I am giving so much praise to a Christopher Clairvoyant issue. Well, this really works. I think Christopher Clairvoyant's style just fits better here. The overwrought narration, which honestly there's not even that much of once you get to this part. It functions really well with a gothic sort of character or book. I cannot remember if I ever read those Zatanna stories by him. I'm not sure I want to if I haven't, because it might cheapen this. This does resolve some of the plot lines from them. I am not tremendously interested in Zatanna outside of a relationship to Satan's son. I didn't think Marvel are either. They seldom use her. The most mileage I think they ever got out of her was when Jeff Parkman added her to Thunderbals, where she was quite fun. I do really like Satan's son though, and it pains me that every time I have to confirm that I mean Satan's son in these Marvel spotlights and in Defenders. It's not just that I didn't like Warren Fallis or his rampage and atheism. It's that I think he transformed Satan's son not only into a bad character, but one that betrayed the very basic appeal of the character. There is no point in having a character who is the son of Satan if he is just going to be the son of Satan. The hook with Satan's son is that he is rejecting his heritage. He is rebelling against his father. He is fighting his inner darkness. And that is the foundations of this conflict here between the siblings. Satan's son is fighting every day to not give in to his father's influence, while his sister Zatanna has totally given in to it. That is, as I said, the hook. Satan's son is a worthless character if you take away that conflict. There is no point to him if he is just a total satanic bastard like Warren Fallis has him be. Why should anyone care? Why should anyone root for him? Why should anyone invest in him? Here we have a character who is trying to be a better man and shrug off the greatest evils from his father. Since Warren Fallis, there has only been 2 stories where I feel they did good by Satan's son. And by chance, those 2 stories were almost back to back. They were Joe Kelly's Last Defenders miniseries, and then Marvel Zombies 4. Then, after that, Swollen Bum had Satan's son betray his friends and ally with neo-Nazis. And I could really get into all the things I hate about the Warren Fallis evil bastard Satan's son. But I like this story, so I won't. Satan's son and Zatanna, they sort of team up against Gloria, the Satanist from the start who has been possessed. And I think you could make the argument that this is Christopher Clairvoyant approaching an assignment, approaching a Satan's son story by not wanting to write Satan's son and just injecting a character like Zatanna. But the character is relevant to Satan's son, and this is the only time she has ever shown up and stolen the show from Satan's son. It's totally acceptable here. It is allowing a chance to show and establish a character and a relationship with a brother. And I think you can argue that the story itself here is really generic or only perfunctory, and that I may be elevating a random innocuous issue because it is simply a Christopher Clairvoyant issue that I didn't hate to the core of my being. It would be pretty amusing if it turned out he never wrote this, but was credited for it. It's not the case. You can definitely tell it's him from, like, the first caption box. I have a very, very forced idea here. You know how 666 is the number of the beast and that? Well, if you wanted to have that on a clock or a watch, well, it would be like 66 minutes past 6. But that would really be 6 minutes past 7. 6 minutes past 7, thumbs up. Cannot believe I forgot to point out this incestual kiss here.